Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. Now, this is accidentally like the third or fourth Halo video I've done this week, and unfortunately, they've all ended up being at least somewhat negative or discussing negativity, and that's something that I wanted to move away from, but I'm also not going to purposefully not cover content when I think it's relevant to my viewers because of that. So today we're talking about Angry Joe, and love him or hate him, and I actually quite like Angry Joe, his coverage of sci-fi shows and movies can be fairly significant, and that's been the case for the Halo TV show. Angry Joe's reviews have been big and they draw a lot of attention, and he does happen to be someone who often speaks negatively, not necessarily unfairly, but who often speaks negatively about the show, especially the inclusion of certain characters like Quan, many of the same complaints that a lot of us have. What's different about Angry Joe is that he's being targeted specifically as a creator for these reviews, and Paramount has reached out and is taking action against his channel in the form of copyright claims and, to be honest, in the form of censorship. So he's covered this a few times on his channel. I'm going to link to some of those videos, but to keep it short, he posted a screenshot on Twitter showing not only that a lot of his content gets copyright flagged, but that his Halo content specifically seems to have been singled out for censorship. And here's a brief explanation for how it works. Basically, what YouTube does is they offer systems for copyright holders who can basically scan new videos for their content. For example, if I upload the entirety of Revenge of the Sith, YouTube will scan that, and Lucasfilm or Disney or someone will have the opportunity to block my video, to claim money from it. There's a bunch of things they can do. Most companies have systems built in to allow for fair use. For example, I know that I can probably get away with using 30 to 60 seconds of uninterrupted Star Wars footage without getting an automatic flag. Now, that changes if I use music. Other companies have different rules. You kind of learn it as you go along. What's different for Angry Joe is that he's not being caught up in the system. He's being caught up in manual reviews, which means that a real person working for, I believe, CBS is watching his content, deciding that they don't want it on YouTube, manually flagging the video and taking it down. There are different options, by the way. When you get copyright flagged, they can either take all the money, they can take the video down. Obviously, they're choosing to take it down here. It seems like he has not a great relationship with CBS because they're also targeting him for his Star Trek videos, and let's be honest, this is blatantly unfair, and it's a really shitty situation, especially because as a creator, there's almost nothing that you can do to counteract this. There is no penalty when big companies like CBS exploit the copyright system to take down content or to silence opinions, and by taking down Angry Joe's videos, they're removing millions of potentially negative views towards their TV show. And I'm not even suggesting that Angry Joe comes in wanting to be negative, but even if he did, even if he were not Angry Joe, maybe I Hate Halo Joe, that's still his right on YouTube to use content fairly and to produce video reviews. The copyright system on YouTube is meant to stop improper use of copyrighted material. What Angry Joe does, what I do, what other people who make video essays and review often do is use the content by the guidelines of fair use, which is totally legal. Again, that's the law, but YouTube is in a kind of rough place with how they've had to set their systems up that there's not really anything they can do. And you know what? Part of the reason why I decided to talk about this is that I have a lot of experience. I've been targeted, not necessarily because of who I am, but I've been targeted several times by these scumbag media companies who overnight will literally claim hundreds of your videos with no warning. They'll take hundreds of videos worth of revenue because they think you use copyrighted material, and well, that's not true. As an example, I have permission to use the song Resonance by Home in my videos. It's my intro song. I have explicit rights from the artist. One time I had over 100 videos flagged by somebody who without permission used Resonance in a remix and then started claiming all of the videos that use the original song, saying that they were using the remix. I know that sounds confusing. It's just a sort of explanation of how broken the system is. Anyway, back on the topic of Joe, it seems like what he's had to do to avoid these worldwide copyright content blocks from CBS is remove literally all content that comes from the show, from the video, which obviously goes way beyond fair use, and also re-upload the same video numerous times. If you guys aren't YouTubers, you may not know this, but YouTube is really based on momentum, and when a video does well, having it taken down for even a few minutes will literally crush the potential of that video. Having to re-upload a video that was up for 30 seconds already will also crush the potential of this video. So not only are they silencing his views temporarily as he gets around their frankly illegal use of copyright mechanisms, it's also hurting the potential of his re-uploads just because of how YouTube operates. So yeah, to put it frankly, it's bullshit, and as I've mentioned, there's no recourse against these people who abuse the copyright system. As I've said, this has happened to me several times. There are probably 4 or 5 different music rights management companies that have really screwed me over. I've complained to YouTube. I've pointed out to my YouTube partnership reps that these companies are either being negligent or outright fraudulent in claiming content. There's nothing that they'll do. So when it comes to a media giant like CBS with massive power in the space, the chance of YouTube doing anything to stand up to them is very low. And that's not necessarily YouTube's fault, but the deck is kind of stacked against them when it comes to copyright law and the internet. So what can you do? Well, watch Angry Joe's videos if you're interested. I'm not saying you've got to support his content if you weren't already, but definitely consider how YouTube's policies affect your creators and how big companies like CBS are trying to shut down negative perceptions of their show. Because this is bad. Like, let's be clear, this isn't automatic takedowns of videos. This is targeting of one specific creator. And Halo actually is fairly strict in their content striking. Like, I originally used my Mandalorian style editing for the Halo videos where I used a lot more footage, but when you watch my videos now, you may see that I use lots of screenshots and stuff. That's to avoid the automatic copyright flagging. So if Angry Joe is actually missing that and then getting caught by the manual reviews, he's really sparingly using content. So that's my thought on that. Angry Joe, if you watch this video and you ever want to talk about this, or you want to talk for a follow-up video, feel free to reach out. But that's all for today. Sorry again for another somewhat negative video, but I do think it's important to cover these topics as they come up. Till next time, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.